about many of those mistakes. But I also think it's important that we realize that we are there. We are there today, and we cannot fail in my view. We must succeed. And I'd like to mention to you that what is the meaning then of success? What is the meaning of success? There will be no peace sign on the deck of the USS Missouri. There will be no Paris peace talks. This is a classic, it's turned into a classic insurgency. And the way insurgencies are defeated is over time, step by step, as a government gains control of its country and people. So what are the recipes for success? One is an improving economy. Everybody in the world wants to have a better life, and so we've got to have a better economy. Finally, the oil exports are starting to creep up, which, as you know, is an enormous source of revenue for Iraq. The second thing is a government that people support. And now we have, finally, remember now in Iraq, it's 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back. 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back. So what's a functioning government? It was so frustrating to all of us that they had an election and then it took 5 months to appoint the defense minister and the interior minister. But it's a functioning government now, and I believe that most people in Iraq, Kurds, Shias, Sunni, others, view themselves as Iraqis first, and Sunni, Shia, or Kurd second. So a government that's supported by the people. The third key element involved here, of course, is the American casualties. What I mean by American casualties is when the Iraqi people, army and police are able to take over their own responsibilities, and Americans can withdraw to enclaves and then withdraw. It's not a time of withdrawal, it's how we withdraw. We've got 30,000 troops in South Korea, as you know, we've had them there for 50 or 60 years. Nobody cares. In fact, we're glad they're there for ensuring security in Asia. And that's because we're not taking casualties. So, the good news is the Iraqi military is being trained and doing rather well. The bad news is that the Iraqi police force is still, in some places, not nearly as capable as we would hope that they would be. But the good news about all this is that unlike the war in Vietnam, the American people, no matter where they stand on the war in Iraq, are still supporting the men and women who are serving. We have marvelous thing. I go out to Walter Reed quite frequently and see these young people who have been so grievously wounded. They're wonderful. They're better than my generation was. They're the very best of us. You can be very proud of them. They're proud of the job they're doing. They want to go back. They're really the very best of us. And that includes, of course, our own Arizona Guard, who has served so wonderfully, as well as our reservists from our state, of whom we are very proud. So the next time you run into one of them that's in uniform, just walk over and say thanks for serving, because that's really all they want from us, and it's wonderful. So with that, I would like to now begin to respond to questions or comments or insults that you might have. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll begin with you. If you would just come up to the microphone. Would you let this lady go first?
Oh, thank you.
She goes. That you might have. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll begin with you. If you would just come up to the microphone. Would you let this lady go first?
Oh, thank you.
She goes.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been trying to check in on since January. My name is Michelle Delacroix. I'm an Air Force veteran. I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. And I'm also the founder of Mothers Against Illegal Aliens. The reason why, thank you. I come here today all the way from Phoenix to help, sir.
What?
I come here all the way from Phoenix. I drove all the way from Phoenix. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. I drove all the way from Phoenix with a very good friend of mine from Chicago to speak with you about the issues about how our legal citizens children...
When you're here to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
So please go ahead, because there's many people...
I am getting to that, sir.
Then please proceed.
The question is in regards to the legal citizen children of this country. Mothers Against Illegal Aliens' position is that we're trying to protect our children by all the illegal women and children crossing our borders, as well as the illegal women, once they cross the borders, they have their children. According to the legal 14th Amendment, the reading of it is that you need to be born or naturalized and under the jurisdiction of the United States of America. The very most important word is and, just like in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you don't have and the jurisdiction, you are not a citizen of the state. And the legislative original language, that the intent was what we have to look at when our forefathers wrote the 14th Amendment, was that it took a citizen to make a citizen. And as you said, we have to look after, like the pork belly in Alaska, that our children's future is what's being affected. And when we talk about a comprehensive immigration bill, and that's when I come to you, I ask you to please start bringing to the Senate the issues about the women and the children crossing our borders, because until you discuss that, that's one of the incentives to coming here. Their children are not legal citizens, sir. And I respect you, and you are a hero, and you are my senator. But the senators are wrong. American people have been brainwashed all these years to think that because we've been a generous country to give citizenship to these women all these years, it's a huge incentive for them to come here. And we're paying for it with schools, free lunches, hospitals, and roofs.
What is your question?
My question is that the Senate needs to focus on in a comprehensive immigration bill.
I'm sorry, I will slow down. I still haven't heard a question.
Does anyone have a question? No.
Every legal person that I've talked to, every constitutional scholar has said that if someone, according to our Constitution, anyone who's born here in the United States of America is a citizen, and that's what the Constitution says.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, sir. The 14th Amendment does not say that. The 14th Amendment, Senator McCain, the 14th...
No.
But the 14th Amendment doesn't say that. That's not what the 14th Amendment says. So you're not going to focus on the women and children crossing the border? What about the women and the children crossing the border?
I have had hundreds of town hall meetings, and I allow people to make a statement.
But you didn't answer my question about the women and the children crossing the border.
To the best of my ability, ma'am. Now, I wish
so
that you would be
it's not going to be a comprehensive immigration plan.
Respect their right and their time to ask their questions and make their
John Welcome, Prescott. I'm a Camp 1, a Republican all my life. I'm running for state representative for District 1. You and I have a little bit in common. I was a Navy pilot. I served in Vietnam, flew combat, and I want to be better. Anyway, I want to welcome you. I respect you and honor your service, and I'm glad to have this chance to talk to you. One of the things I hear all the time when I'm campaigning, and it's to the immigration issue, is most people that I talk to, and I'm saying 99%, do not want to give citizenship to illegals who break the law to get in. I think that we agree that the border needs to be secure. We need to have employer verification. I come at this, I worked 27 years on the border with the U.S. Customs Service, so I know a little bit about that issue. But how are you, you're really bucking the tide here. I know you are because I talk to all these people. And I agree, I don't want to see illegals get citizenship for breaking the law. I can't go that far. That's a bridge too far for me. And how can we overcome that? Thank you.
Well, I tried to describe our proposal, and I promise you that I know there are other issues that people have.